Hello, this is Cuckoo, and today I brought the Octatrack along because I want to show you how to get going with the Octatrack in no time. Obviously going to take a little time, but I'm going to explain how to sample onto the tracks, lay out the samples, jam with the samples. And I want to do it like a step-by-step tutorial. And I'm going to repeat it for every track, so you're going to see the steps over and over again, maybe faster and faster, to give you an understanding of where the samples end up and how you pick them out again and put them on the tracks and stuff. So pay attention now. I want everyone to understand how you get started with the Octatrack, and then you can check out my other tutorial on the Octatrack. It's a little bit more in depth, but basically I just want to keep it simple this time. So a short startup guide for new Octatrack users. Okay, pay attention. Okay, here we are, the Octatrack. Switch it on, and behold, there is a nice animation. Okay, so what we do now is I'm going to start off from scratch, no presets. Function and project. First of all, function, it's like a shift button or a command or control button. It's a red, and everything entitled in red is accessible when you press function. So function and project to access this menu, and I'm gonna change the project and create an empty project. Yes. So it's giving me a random name seemingly, but it's not totally random. It's actually the date. It's today's date, 2015 12/13. But I already created one today, so I'm gonna create tomorrow's date instead. Okay, yes. And there we go. It's now creating a little directory on the flashcard, and making some recording buffer files and the project file, and it's creating a little file on the card, basically, setting it all up. So here we go, ready to go. And with the Octatrack, you need something that makes sound, because the Octatrack is not a synthesis machine. It doesn't generate sound on its own. It can with some trickery, but it's not what it's designed for. It's designed for samples. So we're going to sample into the machine today. And so where do we start? Well, we start by connecting something to the input. Let's see. We've got input A, B, and C, and D. And these are the four inputs. And they are in pairs. A, B is a stereo pair. C, D is a stereo pair. If you monitor them directly through the mixer, you're going to hear them in stereo. But you can access them independently. I'm going to show you how. So let's connect something into here. Let's see, A, B. There you go. What is it? What is it? What have I just connected? I have connected a cable. And the other end of the cable is going to go into ta-da, a rhythm from Teenage Engineering. Yeah, there you go. It's connected. So by just pressing something here, I can't hear anything, but it's connected, and you can see here AB is blinking. It means that we've got sound input. So how do we hear the sound? I'm going to go into the mixer, pressing once, and there's A, B, and C, and D. We can see they're in pairs. So if I change the direct, it's like the monitoring of this, which means it's this. Yeah. And if I pull it all up to 127, sorry about this, really loud, that's the level it's recording. Whether the direct is off or on, this is the level it's going to be recorded. So it's good to check with a maximum volume there, and instead change the gain volume until you find the volume good. And there is a point I'm going to turn off the direct here. You can see them turning red now, right? It's too loud, and turning orange, it's a bit, it's not really safe. So yeah, orange I guess is okay if you see a little orange there, but be careful. It's still too loud. I'm gonna turn it down. Something like that. Yep. Yeah, and let's record something. Let's say I want the kick drum, snare drum, hi-hat, and what else? Yeah, this glass thing up here. Okay, I go to this track, press no to exit the menu. I go to this track where I want to record a kick drum, and now this is all you need to know in order to just record from this. I press track, keep it pressed, and press record. The moment I do that, you can see this sign turning into a plus sign. It means it's recording until it has reached the maximum length of the recording, and then it's going to stop and turn into a stop sign again. And by default, I think it's like 16 seconds or something. Yeah, there you go. It's just recording nothing. So if I time this by recording and pressing this at the same time, like old school, and then press stop, I just stop everything. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this with this drum and this one, hi-hat over here. Press and rec and stop, and then there's a little glass thing here. Okay, so now I've just recorded something, but where's the recording? Where is it? It's every time I record like this, everything it's hard coded. Okay, everything recorded from track 1 ends up in something called the recording buffer number 1. Recording buffer number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whether or not, you know, I could be doing something totally different on these tracks, but I could always record to the recording buffers without changing anything of the ongoing music. And this is a very open architecture, which is very useful and interesting, but it's maybe slowing you down in your way of learning how to do things, but it's really cool. So how do I access the recording buffers? Well, if I double click on the playback, and now I'm on track number 1, I can see this little menu, machine, static, flex, through, neighbor, pickup. And if you want to play back the recording buffers, you need to go down to the flex. You need to make this track a flex machine track, because the flex machine can play back the recording buffers, or like live recording stuff. So I'm going to do this on all the tracks. Yes. This track, flex, yes. This track, down, flex, yes. So what else? I press no to exit the menus. I still, you know, where are the recordings? If I now double click the track, this is where I can select the tracks. And as you can see, recording 8. Down here is a list of everything you can. There is a list of 128 free slots, but up is the 8 recording buffers. So I'm going to select recording buffer number 1 for playback. Yes, on track number 1. Track number 2, I'm going to select recording buffer number 2 for playback on track number 2, and so forth. Number 3, number 4, number 4, yes. And now press no to exit the menu. So let's see where we're at now. I'm going to press track 1 and just press this keyboard. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, we hear sound. We hear some sound. And this is kind of appearing random. But so you can see this red little strip here. Track trigs. Sample MIDI trigs. Yeah. So in this region, from track 9 till 16, you can trigger the samples on each. Yeah, but they keep looping because we need to make some settings. Okay, so track number 1, I double tap on the playback button again to access this little menu where we were previously selecting the flex machine, but there is a little wing, there is a right page of this where you can select loop off. I'm gonna turn off the loop of all of these, and the layout of these is also corresponding to the layout of these knobs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just turn off the loop and I'll try this again. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I press no to exit the menu. And we could actually start recording this now. We could do like... so why not do just that? In order to record stuff live, we need to press rec and play. You can see this little thing going here, yeah. And this will be impossible to record live without some kind of indication of the tempo. So we can press Q and tempo. This is the shortcut for turning on and off the metronome. Very handy. But in order to hear this metronome in the main out, I mean the main out is mainly used for sending the music out to the audience. But in the headphones, you could hear the metronome in the headphones, but not send it out into the main volume output. So this is a feature, it's very handy. Right now we're connected to the main out, so I need to turn on the metronome for the main out as well. Let's see, metronome on. I'm just going to keep it running now. And then function and project, we press left and go down into control, and then down, right and down into metronome. Yes, keep down here and see main volume. There it is. Yeah, I'm going to keep it at 15, that's fine. So there we are, we've got the metronome. But when recording like a live thing, well, not live thing, but when doing a live recording like this, it could be handy to have a pre-roll. So I'm going to go into the same menu again, function, project, metronome. I'm going to go down here, pre-roll off. I'm going to turn it on 1 bar. And whenever I exit a menu, I press no a couple of times. Okay. So if I now press rec and play, did you see that? It just pre-rolled a bar to get me in timing, and then off we go. So let's see. So now we're going to record something like I'm going to rehearse. Oh, sorry. Like this. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, just made a little recording, and we could hear when I'm pressing this. It's a bit late. My recordings weren't totally tight, so I need to crop them and strip away this little silence in front of the actual hit. So let's do that. We've got these 4 recordings, right? Let's take the kick drum. It's on track number 4. I press it and I press the edit or bank. And then I come into an editor where I can edit the sound. So I press, right now we can't really see much. And these are navigation controllers now. Number D is like, it's zooming in on the waveform, like the levels. And this is zooming in in the timeline. And we can see now there is a big gap, a big silence in front of it. And these are in point and out point. So I'm going to change the in point to very tightly onto where the actually sample starts. And now I was in trim mode. And then I'm going to go into the edit mode by pressing there. And then I'm going to press yes, because pressing yes when I'm editing in this mode is going to turn up a little menu. And like the second selection here is crop to selection. This one I'm going to do crop. Out is outside is going to be deleted. Yes, do it. So let's see. It's much snappier now. So I'm going to do the same with track 3, which is the snare drum. Let's see, snare drum, there you are. And well, let's do, there you go. And then I'm gonna, the out point, just, yeah, do that. I could do all of this in the edit mode as well. It's just that first when you enter it, you're in trim mode. So pay attention what page you're on. Edit, yes. Crop to selection, yes, yes. And then the next one, which is that this is actually not too bad. Let's zoom in and see. Yeah, maybe it's actually, yeah, I actually missed the start of that. That's okay. And track number 1, input there. You can see when there is this white square appearing around the selection, this means it's a zero crossing, which means there is no snapping. There's not going to be any snapping sound when the sample starts. I could force it to find it, these zero crossings, by keeping function down while I'm making a selection. That's a good thing. And then output, well, I'm going to zoom out. There we go. And we're still in edit mode. Yes, crop to selection. Yes, yes, yes. So now we'll just change it. We have cropped the samples. Gonna press no, and yeah, much better. Yeah. So what happens? Where are these trigs that I just recorded? Well, if I press this record button, I enter trig mode. And you could see here are 2 trigs. On the other one, this is the snare drum. There are 3 trigs here and there. This, there's no one here. Here, yeah, a couple of trigs there. And these are just trigs that tell the Octatrack to play stuff. So now I just removed all of the trigs, and yeah, like here, I could do this, for instance. Yeah, I could yeah, I could, you know, it's the score, it's the musical score. Yeah, and with the kick drum, go to the kick drum again. Where are we? There isn't several ways of playing with the samples. This mode is simply just launching the sample and nothing else. But if we press function and down or up, we enter this little menu where you could make this strip of trig buttons work in different ways. So I'm gonna go 1 down and select the chromatic mode, and now on the kick drum, yeah, as you can hear, I could start playing it chromatically, and by pressing function and right, I go up. So, well, actually, function and left works too. I just toggle between playing down an octave or playing up an octave. So I could do like this instead. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's make a recording with this much more interesting way of playing with pitch involved. And I'm gonna take this, where is it? As you can see now, you can see these these light diodes, they are indicating where the black and the white keys are. So the lit ones are the white keys, and the ones that are not lit are the black keys. Yes, and I want to create a longer little snippet here. So I'm going to press function and scale setup. Well, first I'm going to go into this trigger mode where I could, program. Yeah. And this one, I'm going to turn it off again. Okay, function and scale setup. It's going to bring me to this mode where I could extend it. It's not only 16 trigs, but if I press it again, it adds another page, and yet another page, and yet another page. So now it's like full page in a successive order. Okay, full page. And it might seem strange to always press no all the time, but it's just a safe way to know that you just step out of this menu. Okay, so now we've got 4 pages. I press once here, and then you see it enter the second page, and then the third, and then the fourth. Yeah. So I'm gonna just make a sort of a bass thing going on. Okay, press rec. So right now I can only play one track at a time, not all of them as I did before. Okay, rec and play. And yeah, awesome. So now let's do the same with the next track. And keep in mind that this is toggling between 2 modes. It's programming when it's lit, jamming when it's off. Okay, let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and. I don't need the what's it called again, the metronome anymore. So I'm gonna press Q in tempo to turn off the metronome. Yeah, sounds pretty nice. And now let's go into this hi-hats again. I'm just gonna turn it on like that on all of the trigs. You could hear it's all on the trigs, but on next page it's gone because I haven't done anything there. A quick way to copy one page to another page is press this scale setup, this page button, and press copy page. Press it again to go to the next page. Press and hold and press paste. Again, paste. Again, paste. Yeah, so I just pasted this onto all of the pages. Okay. Yeah, this is nice. A way to mute is function and the track. Yeah. So this way you can do a lot of stuff. When I played this with different pitches, if I go into the actual triggers now and see what is actually being recorded, I can see the pitch being written into every trig. So yeah. And another thing that you need to know with the Octatrack is that it can time stretch, and you can turn off time stretching. And right now, if we take this a snare drum, for instance. Is it time stretched? We can find out. If we don't hear it, we could do this. And then we can see time stretch, auto. If it's off, if it's on. So what happened now was that when it wasn't auto, the Octatrack detected the quality of the sound and decided that this sound is probably comes up better with the time stretching off. So the auto made this decision for us. But on a longer one, like this one, we could hear that it's actually being time stretched. It's the same length regardless of the pitch. So the Octatrack decided that this sound probably sounds pretty good in time stretch mode. It's longer. Basically, very short sounds is probably auto detected as not time stretchable. You could still time stretch them. It'll be interesting. So if we turn off the time stretching for the bass drum, it'll be like this. It's much longer here because it's being played back slower, and up here it's going to be shorter. So this is a cool thing with the time stretching audio. Yeah. Yeah. You know, on this last track, maybe we should freestyle and do like something melodic, or we should bring out a turntable or something. Let's see if we could do that. Yeah, bye. Let's do something. Yeah, this is a lousy turntable, but it's what I got. Yeah, okay. Plug it in, the power. And headphones. Let's see. Yeah. That's right. That's right. So if we sample something on I'm just gonna see what it sounds like. So. Yeah, this one. Okay. By the way, it's a friend of mine called Mixrasta Mula, and it's pretty cool. Let's see. So I'm just gonna record this and see what happens. It's still recording. Okay, let's see what we got. So, yeah, I'm just gonna unplug this and see if that's any fun to work with. Okay, there we are, back in the mirror. Can you see me? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. So we just recorded something there on track number 1, and let's see. It's being time stretched, right? Okay, I'm gonna go right into the bank mode. Well, first of all, I'm gonna see how the levels stand up. Well, my own recordings were pretty loud, So I have to maybe turn up the, maybe amp it a little bit. Maybe turn on the main output a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so what I want to try now is, can I get this in sync with what I just programmed? Let's try that. Let's try it. I'm gonna go into track number 1, edit, and go in here and see trim. Yeah, I've got to go into the trim menu and loop it. Well, now I sort of screw up. I need to start over. That's okay. Zoom, scroll. Yeah, right there. Zoom in to find the exact place. There. Yeah, zoom out and find the end. Where was it? Was it like this place? One, two, three, and yeah, that's the place. So now the loop point is set. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go into the edit menu again, and this selection is still there. And press yes, and then I'm gonna not crop it. I'm gonna keep the recording in this case. I'm gonna go down in this menu and find this option, calculate BPM from selection. Yes, and it suggests 106 BPMs. So now it has been set to 106 BPMs. So when I press it now, you can hear it's fast, right? Because my BPM is in 120, so it's just syncing up. Yeah, and if I do it lower. Okay, let's just try it and go into trig, page number 1, press a little trig and indicate that you want it to start right here, and press play. Yeah, I'm gonna mute it. My mix is kind of nasty, and in order to make this fit into my mix, I need some, I don't know, EQ or something. So I'm gonna go into the track number 1, effect number 1, and double tap it, and DJ equalizer, I think, could be suitable here. I'm just going to listen to it alone first. And there's so much bass in my bass drum, so maybe they're competing. Let's see. It works musically. Well, maybe not the best idea, but it works. It works. So this is the Octatrack, and this is how you record stuff. And now there is a very, very important thing in terms of saving the tracks. This is very important, because if you don't save the tracks, they're going to be gone the next time you start the Octatrack. So I'm hoping that you're looking through all the video till this point and keep looking, because now I'm going to show you how to save the tracks. Very important. So I've used track 1, 2, 3, 4. I've used the recording buffers. Everything that's a recording buffer is just a place made to change. So every time you start up a project, the recording buffer is wiped, is empty. So if I want to save what I've just done, I'm going to go into the track menu, not the track menu, but the edit menu. So go into track 4, press edit, or bank, and I go into the file menu. Is this the place? I always forget it. Yeah, there you go. Save and assign sample. Yes, and it gives you this seemingly random name, but it's actually the date again. Track 4, recording buffer 4, the date, and then is this the time? Maybe the clock. Yeah, maybe. Okay, 1929. Yes, assign to self is going to assign it to the recording buffer, but I want to arrange it a little bit and keep the recording buffers free. So I'm going to assign to free flex. Yes. And what happened now was that it saved this file as another file than the recording buffer. It's not the recording buffer anymore. It's saved safely away from the recording buffer. And if I press the playback, double tap the track button again, we can see that the recording buffer is still the one being selected. If I go down here, I can see that now there is a new one that just appeared on flex track number 1, slot number 1. I'm going to select it. This is the one we just saved. Okay, so I selected it, and it's the kick drum. So I'm going to do this on all the tracks. This sound, this little by the way, this is a way to trigger the sound that is on the slot. Press it and press play. And just another way of triggering the sound, just to check if it's there. So the same thing here, track, edit, file, down to save and assign sample. Yes, saving sample, it's now saved. Assign to free flex. Yes, assign to flex 2. Track number 2, save and assign. And this needs another name because it's the same minute I'm saving a new track, so it's going to have the same name as another track that was given a unique name the same minute. Okay, free flex, flex 3, and this saves and assign sample. That's going to have a new, was it? Yeah, just save, assign to free flex. Yes. And now, I told you I screw up before because it would make sense to have slot number 1 on track number 1 and so forth. But right now, slot number 1 is used on track 4. So it's not the best organized head today, but let's see. So this is, and this track number 2 is this one. Track number 3 is now loaded here. I could rearrange these because these are samples now saved on the card. So I could go in here. I could go into number 5, press yes, and start browsing. So I could browse it, and I could see, oh, these are the samples. I could press function and yes to preview them while I'm browsing it, and that's the one where, yeah. Well, for instance, this one, I could load this. I recorded it earlier, so now I've got another one on slot number 5, ready to be used. Maybe on track number 5. Flex, yeah. Yeah, there you go. So now number 5 is, yep. Am I moving too fast? I'm getting too much into it, and now I'm moving too fast, maybe. But you guys, you've got YouTube, and you've got the pause button, and you can, what the screw stuff XXX did he do right there? But hit me up in the comments. This is maybe being a bit too lengthy about something that is quite basic and simple, but I want to make sure that you understand what's going on in the machine. That when you sample something, it's not automatically coming out on the track. It's safely tucked away in the recording buffer for use as you please. And then you need to bring it out and make a few selections, and that's how it works. You just have to live with it and learn how to operate with it. Ooh, I almost forgot one thing. Well, I did actually. When I stood up, I thought, oh gosh, I forgot how to tell them that you need to save your project. So function and project. Go into this menu. Left is going to take you to this project menu, right? And you're going to go down here and press save. Any previously saved state will be lost. Continue, yes. And this is a very good thing, because if you save a song and then when you perform with the set or with a song, and when you make a lot of changes and maybe use the recording buffers, but when you leave it, don't save it, and then you can come back to this state where you left it for performance. So yeah, so there you go. There's the Octatrack Elektron. I'm Cuckoo. By the way, if you find these videos helpful, please consider throwing in a couple of bucks every time I release such a video like this. I've got a Patreon account set up. It's very simple. There is like an info button over here somewhere where you could click and come directly to the Patreon site. And it's very simple to set up. You can even log in with your Facebook account if you want that, and it's just a click away. And then you can set up the amount you want to donate every time I release a video. And you can set up a monthly limit so that you know that it's not going to exceed what you're willing to pay. And very nice. It helps me tremendously. And I'm so thankful for all of you 320 people, isn't it, right now? I'm overwhelmed by the support I get already. And this is all making it very possible for me to actually go out there next year, as I've been planning for a long time, and cut away my other main jobs and make music my main job instead. And what that means to you guys is that I'm going to make more useful videos, and I'm going to make a really good live set ready. And by the way, I'm thinking the Octatrack is going to play a really major role in my upcoming live set in 2016. So this is very important for me personally to get out there and play. So I've mostly been sitting here in my studio on some spare moments, really. But next year, because of your support, it's now suddenly possible for me to go out there. And yeah, if you want to help me propel this transition, please donate a few bucks. It means a lot to me. I don't want people to donate lots of money because I want this to be accessible for anyone. So if you don't have any money, you don't have to donate. But if you feel like, yeah, I support this guy, $1 or $2, it's great. It's great. Okay, so here we are, the Octatrack, a little, tutorial, and I'm Cuckoo, and I'm going to stop babbling right now. Okay, peace out. And be curious about the Octatrack. It's a very powerful machine, and once you get the hang of it, it's fun to play. When you don't have the hang of it, you probably hate it. But when you get the hang of it, I really hated it before I understood what to do with it. But now when I understand how to do it, I really like it. I really do. So, okay. Peace out. Stay cuckoo. Yeah, I'm going to throw out some gang sounds like C and U. Is that like cuckoo? Yeah, cuckoo.